Do do presidents, any president, generally appoint their enemies?
Thank you, Senator, for the question.
Don't thank me. It just takes up time.
I believe that when they nominate them,
Do they generally appoint their enemies?
they don't believe they are when they're when they're making.
Do presidents, any president, generally appoint people that they agree with on social and economic policy?
I believe that presidents appoint people whose.
When a president makes appointments, is it really about choosing the best person for America, or is it about surrounding themselves with loyal allies who will protect their agenda? And what does that mean for our freedoms, our economy, and the future of this country? In this hearing, Senator John Kennedy nailed it with Dr. Myron, cutting through the nonsense and reminding everyone we don't live in the so-called land. Presidents pick people they trust, fiscal responsibility matters, and politicians should stop pointing fingers.
Senator Kennedy.
Dr. Myron, do presidents, any president, generally appoint their enemies?
Thank you, Senator, for the question.
Don't thank me. It just takes up time.
I believe that when they nominate them,
Do they generally appoint their enemies?
they don't believe they are when they're when they're making.
Do presidents, any president, generally appoint people that they agree with on social and economic policy?
I believe that presidents appoint people whose.
That's a yes, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we live in the real world, don't we?
Yes.
Are you personally responsible for everything President Trump says?
No, my role as the chairman of the.
Before President Trump says something as President of the United States, does he call you up and say, Stephen, I'm about to say this and I want your approval? Does he do that?
Never.
And after the president says something, does he call you up and say, Stephen, was that okay? Are you okay with this?
Nope. I have an advisory role.
Okay. Now, sometimes intelligent adults, reasonable people disagree. Is that true?
Very often.
Is it part of your job description when you disagree with something the president says to call a press conference and say, he's wrong about this and let me explain to you why? Is that part of your job description?
Not as CH.
Is that part of the job description of any aide that you know of to President Biden?
No.
How about for President Obama?
No.
How about for President Clinton?
No.
We don't live in La La Land, do we? Do we?
No.
Now, monetary policy is important, and the Fed is in charge of it. But monetary policy is not the only thing that's important. Fiscal policy is important, isn't it?
Fiscal policy is extremely important.
And I don't care how low the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates. If the United States Congress is profligate in its spending, if it spends money like it's pond water, if it runs up $37 trillion in debt, and deficit spends to the tune of 7% every year, that also has an impact on employment and economic growth and inflation, does it not?
Absolutely, and I think people often make a mistake by looking solely at monetary policy when fiscal policy is a huge driver.
And in fact, the Federal Reserve can lower short-term rates through the Open Market Committee all you want. But that doesn't necessarily mean that long rates, 10 years and above, are going to go down, does it?
Not necessarily.
Right, because if the bond market counts too, doesn't it?
Of course.
If the bond, you can lower rates as low as you want to, but if the bond market thinks that inflation is on the horizon, those rates are going to keep going up or at least stay steady. Isn't that accurate?
Yes, the Federal Reserve does not control the long end of the yield curve.
Okay, so what Congress does matters, doesn't it?
Hugely.
My good friend Senator Warren says, you're Donald Trump's puppet. Are you Donald Trump's puppet?
Not at all. I'm very independently minded, as shown by my willingness to stray from consensus and have out-of-consensus views, and I believe that, I will continue to be as independent, in my thinking process, if confirmed.
We're going to hold you to that, Governor, future Governor. You need to call them like you see them. There's nothing wrong with politicians in Washington offering their opinions. You can't stop them. But we need a monetary plan that was put together by something other than vodka and darts. And that's what we had the Federal Reserve for. Now, you're going to get a lot of advice from politicians. I'm not saying they're always wrong. Even a blind chicken finds a mealworm now and then. But you've got to call them like you see them. And ignore, nothing wrong with people giving their advice, but ignore all the rhetoric from all politicians. Will you give me that commitment?
I do commit to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
First off, Kennedy asks the obvious. Do presidents appoint their enemies? No, of course not. They appoint people who share their vision, their policies, and their priorities. That's common sense. Every president does it. Trump did it. Obama did it. Biden does it. This idea that somehow Trump's appointments were unique or sinister is just political theater. The left acts like Trump was the only president who ever wanted loyal, like-minded people around him. That's ridiculous. In the real world, you don't hire people who want to sabotage you. You hire people who will help you get the job done. Kennedy was making a point here, and Dr. Myron confirmed it plain and simple. Then comes the part one really loved. Kennedy asked Dr. Myron if he was personally responsible for everything Trump says. And Myron laughed it off. No, of course not. Trump didn't call him before or after every statement to ask permission. That's not how it works. But here's the kicker. Kennedy reminded everyone that it's not the job of an advisor to call a press conference and contradict the president every time they disagree. Not under Trump, not under Biden, not under Obama, not under Clinton. The left loves to pretend that advisors should be out there breaking ranks with Trump, but no one ever demanded that from Biden's or Obama's people. Hypocrisy at its finest. Now let's get into the meat of it, fiscal policy. Kennedy made a brilliant point. Monetary policy, the stuff the Fed controls like interest rates, it's important. But it's not everything. Fiscal policy, meaning how Congress taxes and spends, is just as important, if not more. And let me tell you, our Congress has been spending money like it grows on trees. $37 trillion in debt, running deficits at 7% every year. That's madness. You can lower interest rates all day long, but if the bond market smells inflation, long-term rates are going to stay high. You can't outsmart the market. Kennedy called it like it is. Reckless spending kills growth, fuels inflation, and hurts every working American. That's the truth. Now here's where it gets spicy. Senator Elizabeth Warren has been calling Dr. Myron Donald Trump's puppet. That's classic Warren. Toss an insult, score a headline, offer no solutions. Myron pushed back and said no, he's independent-minded, not anyone's puppet.
And you know what? Good.
Because if he does the job right, he should be independent. But let's not kid ourselves. Warren doesn't care about independence. She just hates anything tied to Trump. If Trump said the sky was blue, Warren would say it's fascist daylight. That's how deep the Trump derangement syndrome runs on the left. At the end, Kennedy asked for one thing, that Myron ignores the political noise, ignores the grandstanding, and calls it like he sees it. That's leadership. That's what this country needs. We don't need advisors bowing down to political pressure or parroting talking points. We need truth-tellers who will fight for fiscal sanity, call out reckless spending, and stand strong for the American people. And let me just say this, Kennedy's style is exactly what we need more of in Washington. Straight talk, no la-la land, no vodka and arts policy making, just honesty. The sad reality is that too many politicians are willing to mortgage our future for their short-term gain. That's why patriots like us need to stay loud, stay informed, and keep holding them accountable. So let me ask you, do you think Congress will ever get serious about spending, or are they going to keep treating our national debt like a credit card with no limit? Because I'll be honest with you, if something doesn't change soon, it won't matter what the Fed does. America's future will be on the line. This is Prodigy Unfiltered. Like, share, subscribe, and stay in the fight. God bless America.